Welcome to Yellow Skunk Farms, everybody. Quick disclaimer, this is a 21-year-old and up channel, so if you're not 21 years or older, please exit the channel now. Thank you. Check out our Monstera. If you've been following along, like myself, you'll know that this thing is going to get out of hand. Every day it gets bigger, every leaf gets bigger and bigger. I didn't think it was possible to get bigger, but it keeps getting bigger. I mean, it's all the way over there now, and that one over there in the back. It's all the way over there. I guess we're just going to have to pull it up off of there probably. That'd be the best thing to do. What's up, guys? Cooter. Say good morning. There's Pooter and there's Scooter out this morning. Let me zoom in a little bit. What's up, Scoot? Looking good, girl. Look at that shell. Look at that skin. Everything just looks so super clean. And using that lactic acid bacteria is game changing. I'm telling you. After about, I mean, look how bright Pooter is. How clean. I mean, there's 175, probably 180 gallons of water in there. And then there's another probably 40 in the creek that flows around back into the pond. And if you're new, this is self-watering, self-enclosed system in the horizontal. Here, let me step back and you can see we're building a new one here. If you want to watch us build this, there's videos on Yellow Skunk Pond Gardens. Yellow Skunk Pond Gardens. We're on day 3 going into day 4 construction, so we might be able to get some more rocks today. But this is in a horizontal soil system, so this is a reservoir, so there's a liner down underneath that, and then this is where all the water sits. That's our E horizon. And then we have an A horizon, which is where our soil goes, and then our O horizon. But the layer that goes in between there is sand, silt, and clay, which is the same sand, silt, and clay that's in the creek, that's in the pond. That same material is filling the gaps of that rock and pea gravel that we have down at the bottom, and we raise that on up to where it's a clay layer, and then soil goes on top of that, and then our organic layer on top of that, and then our plants, and we are good to go. Let me get over here without falling on my butt. This is my well, what we're calling right now the yellow skunk, but it's probably not what it's going to be the name of. It is seeded, so the buds aren't going to get very big, but they are very terpy, extremely terpy. I mean, like lemon lime, Mr. Clean is what I call it, really. It's like a lemon lime, a little bit of funk on the end. Beautiful flowers, but nothing on these over here. These are the Jolly Ponds. These are the Marmalade Groves. Unbelievably terpy. Just it's all. This one is all over the place. This one is getting gassy. It's getting funky, so to speak. This one over here is still, it's getting funky, but it's still got that cotton candy bubble gum. Very distinct cotton candy bubble gum. This one here is gassy. I'm just taking a look at it. Look at Let's see, yeah, it's just a beautiful flower. And these won't get they're very tight, but they won't get very big because they're completely, I mean, they're just seeded. Everything is just seeded up. Yeah, I'll show you the seed. Look, I just touched it and the seed came off. So it has this coating on it. If we remove that coating, that skin, you'll see the seed is just very nice. That's what we want to see, the tiger stripes. It's very plump, it's hard. It's a hard seed. So it's not, it tells us it's got the goods in it. Probably could use a couple, probably another, we're going to leave it in there for another at least 10 days. So, see, we've got our Kimi Pure bags. Or Kimi Pure is, there's one right there. I stuck it over here. We removed a lot of grass. That was a big thing. We removed a lot of grass from around this edge here. You see the shrimp are hanging out. We got lots and lots of shrimp. They multiply continuously. But I noticed that this grass that was growing all up through here was just slowing traffic up. Basically, the flow was being trapped. It was wicking up way too much water. What I mean by that is just pulling water up through here, all up into the soil beds, which this soil bed seems to be doing a whole lot better than that one over there. We're going to have to do something with that one. As soon as we cut these plants out, we're going to kind of dig that up a little bit, add some new IMO5, kind of disconnect right through here. We've already disconnected, but we're going to dig down a little bit more, aerate it, get it basically restarted. I guess that's the best way to put it. We're going to restart it. Let's see if one of these seeds over here. Oh yeah, she's full, boy. She is packed tight. See if I can get this coating off of it without losing the seed. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. See the tiger stripes. I like the tiger stripes. I like seeing that. So freaking hard to get that skin off. This one's got a little bit of time left. But like I said, we still got 10 days. The seed itself looks good. Starting to fill up. Start to fill out. Let's check this one over here. Some of them are just further along than others, huh? Yeah. Filling out nicely. Nice and hard too. Should be good seeds. We shall see. It's a terpy ass plant, I know that. So we cleaned out a little bit of this up here yesterday. thing creak out a little bit. Make sure that, see how it's just sitting there. I want it to flow. So I need to get it to go that way. That way. There it goes. These roots from this lucky bamboo have just taken over here. And when that happens, we just gotta let it clean itself out. We gotta make sure we don't get a stagnation. So as long as we keep it flowing, see that? Yeah, just cleaned it right on up. Ivy is bring that over here. Almost scared to stick my hand down there. God knows what's down in that hole there. That goes way back up in there. This is a pink jasmine. Was in a pot, a tiny little 1-gallon pot, and I stuck it over there at the beginning, planted it, and it's all up in the bush, and it's turned the corner. It's gone all the way around. Right, let's go back there and see. This is my little stash back here. Oh, all the good stuff. You can see we can run the dehue right into there, and then the pond water runs up right through there. See through. I left a little hole there for the snake. There was a snake in there. There was a black snake living up in there. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a year and a half since last. Yeah, it's been a year, maybe. Yeah, year and a half. It was like when I was building this thing. It came in here. The ivy is coming out crack here. So the whole bed is 12 foot long, so it's from here to there is 12 feet. From there to there is 9.5 feet. Not including Digger's new extension. Take a look underneath these. The Chemi Pure bag is just a, look at all that. Tell me they ain't eating that. All that algae, all the bacteria that's in this biochar. That's what I was trying to think of. Biochar. It's some clays, some different polys. It's in this bag that helps clean the water. Does a great job. I used to use it for my fish aquarium, my saltwater fish aquarium. Just throw one down in the sump. Tremendous help. So I kept using them, and you get 2 of them for like 40 bucks. They're like 20 bucks a piece, but they last like 2 months. So for 40 bucks, you can get 4 months. So like $10 a month, basically, just to throw one of those in. Tremendous, tremendous help. Then you just take those, and that biochar is now activated biochar. It's got all the bacteria, all the fish poo, everything that's built up in there. You bring it over here, and that's what the worms are eating. So the worms are coming up, and they will just poo and eat. Look at those worm castings.
And then do the same thing to this. They come in and they clean it. And they leave their worm castings. See the worm castings? All those little black pellets are worm castings. So all that will get pooed out right into the bed. We'll just knock that out and then put that back in the creek. Let it continue to filter. Transfer all that aquatic biology, all that aquatic nitrogen, all that good stuff that's coming from the pond and from all the critters and shrimp and you name it. I can't name everything. It's just we're merging the aquatic biology with the terrestrial biology, and great things happen when we do that. We don't have to feed the plants. We don't have to water the plants. I haven't watered this bed in, God, we're going on probably close to 6 months, 5.5 months. So you just don't have, if I water, it gets crazy. Like all my water will run down into my horizon, on my E-horizon down here. And that's where all my water sits. So you can see it's a little moist down there right now. But not very much. Usually when we cut the plants, and this is how I know it works, when we cut the plants, we'll get a rush of water down and this will fill up. This will get about 1 inch of water down there and it'll sit there, and that's where we want it. You know, we want it to sit down there until we just transfer new plants in. Once the new plants catch hold, start sucking up, wicking up all that water, our water dries up. We don't have to water anything. It's basically watering from the bottom up, and the top, the creek keeps the top nice and moist for our biology. That's all we want. We don't have to water. The roots go down and pull the water up through the sand, the silt, and the clays, just like in outdoor nature. Same principle, except we're using a super soil. So if just for instance, if we wanted the ideal outdoors, but we wanted to bring it inside so we could do this continuously, year-round, without ever shutting it down, we can have the pond with the fish and the turtles and whatever else we want that's pond-friendly in the pond, feeding the biology on the edges of this creek here, which then in turn wicks water up into the soil pockets. We extend that sand and silt from the creek into the soil pockets, and what we get is, voila, look at that dairy cow isopods. They're the big boys. But the worms are turning this sand and silt into worm castings, and then it's our job simply to just bring these worm castings, or let them, we can just extend that sand and silt right on into the soil, and look what they do. They turn it into worm castings, and those worm castings are rich. I tell you, they are rich just underneath the surface here. And I don't like moving it. I don't like touching it. You can see the sand. This is just aeration. It helps. The worms love the sand and the silt. They love the poo in these pads here. So you just set the pad. That was completely full. It looked like that. And they'll turn it into that. And all we gotta do is take it, knock all those worm castings out. The more we do this, the better the soil's gonna get. We can always take this. Even the worm don't care about the water. But I'm not gonna leave it in there. I'm just gonna get it wet again. Just gonna get it wet, and actually we could flip. That's what I was gonna do. Let him work the other side now, and then to help this guy out, we'll just cover him up so the light don't get to him too bad. And we're good to go.
as you can see, we are looking good. Almost done with this run. This is run number 4. We'll be going into run number 5. We just planted our babies. They're day 2 on the babies, indoors, sitting on the oven. And I got them sitting on the oven just because I don't have any place else to put them right now. Plus, when I'm in the house, I can just turn the oven on real low, keep the door shut. That oven heat will heat the top of the oven up, the stove top, and give me that little bit of heat I'm looking for. You just got to make sure you keep them wet. So you soak your little pot that they're in, and then just set them on top of the oven and maintain the moisture. Only do that while you're in the house. But usually leaving the oven on, like usually most of the ovens will go down to like 170 in the oven. That's just a little trick I learned. It only takes like 3-4 days for them to pop. Then I just bring them out here. Probably stay inside for 10 days or so, and then we'll bring them out here. Once we cut these plants, we just plant right beside them. We don't pull the root balls out. None of that. All that stays. Here's an old root. There's the old one right there. There's nothing to it. They eat it. Actually, you know what? We can just go ahead and take this. I was going to remove this, but they seem to like it. It's like a little home for them. So this is what happens. They completely just break this stuff down, and it turns to, look at that, nothing. Food. This is what has to happen. We're returning, we're chopping and dropping, we're letting the critters, we're letting the biology break down the root system. And then we just set it back in there and chop that up. This will turn to balsa wood pretty much, turn to dust. Back to the system it goes to be broken back down and pooped back out for food for the plants. Good little cycle. So I appreciate everybody hanging out, and hope everybody has a great, what's today? Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. So have a great Thursday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.